As said before, my name is Ranik Balpera. I am a computer engineer at Xenit. At Xenit, our main focus is enterprise content management with a main focus on Alfresco. With enterprise content management, there is also the important aspect of search. In this demo, I will show you the capabilities of Fusion and how it can alleviate search for your enterprise. Straight away, we see that Fusion is presenting me with some documents and results from its index. For instance, at the top, we see a first result from a web page from our own Xenit website. You can also, for instance, see an Alfresco document and also see a Sharepoint document. At the top of my search interface, I can see my different data silos. For instance, I can see that I have 1,000 documents indexed, 500 from which there are from Alfresco, and the rest is divided between the Xenit website and Sharepoint. You can also click these documents to only view the documents from that data silo. So after authentication, I go back to every web page on our Xenit website. These filters are also adjustable. Now, moving over to the overview of this page, at the left-hand side, we have some filters, also known as facets. With these facets, I can filter the results that are returned by Fusion. For instance, when I'm only interested in PDF files, and for instance, say the MS Word files, I can filter my results, and I can see that there are some results coming from our website, coming from Alfresco, and from Sharepoint. These filters are clickable, and I can remove them whichever I like. Now, for an overview of the main data that is indexed in our Fusion, we also made a small dashboard that Fusion is really quickly able to create. You can see over here how our data is divided, who created the data, and at what date they were created. Moving over to the main search interface, we have the option to limit our results to a certain amount per page, sort by its name, by type, or whatever you would like. Now I'm going to use the search application for its main purpose, which is, of course, doing a search. I am an engineer, and I heard that IBM is doing something interesting with blockchain. So I will type the first words of that, and I can see that Fusion is already working for me. I only typed the first half of the second word, and it already is suggesting me the term blockchain. I will now finish this search, and I can see the results from Fusion. I can see that Fusion found 89 documents in Alfresco, 50 in Sharepoint, and 2 on our website. What I can immediately see is a potential problem. I can see in Sharepoint, there is a document with the exact name as in Alfresco. What Fusion now has done is put the Alfresco document on top because it was modified on a later date than the Sharepoint document. Now, in my search application, when you click on the title of a document, you will be redirected to the document detail page. The detail page is mainly focused about one document. It shows you the title, some metadata of the document, and a small snippet of its content. From here on, I am one click away to actually view it in Alfresco. Then after I am authenticated against Alfresco, I can see my document at first glance. So for instance, after my search, I can indeed see it's a document about blockchain coming from IBM. And I can also see an expert on this topic named Axel Bausch. Going back to my document detail page, I can see that Fusion is also doing some other interesting things for me. At the left-hand side of the document detail page, I can see that it's suggesting similar documents for me. The Fusion engine is actually looking at all the other documents and finding similarities between the title, the content, and the metadata. For instance, we see that we here also find the document from Sharepoint and some other files about IBM. On the right-hand side, I used a more advanced machine learning feature from Fusion, which is actually capable of extracting important entities from the content of your document. This document was based on an open NLP model, which was able to extract companies and persons from the content of my document. What you can see here is that it indeed extracted the company IBM, and at the person field, we also see the name we saw in the document earlier, Axel Baus, which was automatically extracted. The interesting thing about this is that I can also click these entities. And when I click these, Fusion will output all the documents in which the same entity was also extracted. So over here, it actually suggested me a search term, and I can see IBM documents or other documents containing the term IBM or company IBM. Let's now, for instance, say that I am interested in those kind of documents. I will do the same search again. And now, because I want to keep updated on all new documents that arrive in Fusion, I can save the search for later. For instance, I will now call this search IBM blockchain and save it. Now going back to the normal overview, I can get my search back one click away and the search will be executed automatically. Now say that I want to bookmark this document for later, the Sharepoint document, because maybe I want to remove it because it's a duplicate. I can find it in my saved bookmarks. Now also one click away and I'm also viewing my document in Sharepoint. Going back to the main overview of the website. As you all might know, with large enterprises, there is the important question of access control. In my demo, I would like to show you some things we did with our Alfresco connector to include this access control automatically into Fusion. I will now do a confidential search that I saved earlier, containing the search term money transfer and an exact match on that. We can see there are some documents in Alfresco 7 and some in Sharepoint. These documents are highly confidential and I configured that only administrators should be able to see them. Now moving on to my other user employee accounts. I can see that this account was configured to only have access to Alfresco. When I now do the identical search of money transfer, I actually get no results for my search query. The interesting thing is that with our connector, we are actually pulling the access control rules from Alfresco into Fusion. This means that you only need to configure the access control in Alfresco and that it will be mimicked in Fusion with real-time updates. So anything happening related to access control in Alfresco does not need to be done into Fusion. Moving back to my admin accounts. I would like to show you one option of searching your own websites. For instance, I know that Xenith has a lot of interesting projects about content migration. I can start with a search term on content, and then I would like to get all variations on the word migration. So here I will use a wildcard search, meaning that I want to match on all words that start with these 4 letters. So when I, for instance, execute this query, I immediately see some web pages from our website, and the query highlighting shows me that there was actually a match on content migration, on migrate, and for instance, also on the word migrated. In the search bar, there's also more advanced options available. You can search on metadata or use the negated search or other features that are also similar to the Google search bar. Now, finally, to conclude my demo, I would like to say that the real power of Fusion comes in when you actually add a lot of data sources, allowing you to search over your whole enterprise and creating you a personalized search interface for your own employees that will actually learn and grow over time. With that final thought, I would like to conclude the demo and give the word back to Ronnie.